So the holiday season is finally here, and I know it's very popular to give fragrances as gifts right around the holiday season. I've personally gifted many of my fragrances, perfumes, colognes, so on and so forth. Some of them have been really, really appreciative because we know that some fragrances can actually end up being quite expensive. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over 10 gift recommendations, some for women, some for men, some on the more expensive side of things, some on the more inexpensive side of things. I'm excited to share this list with you, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode, I do want to mention that if you are a fan of fragrance-related content, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Hit the bell icon so you could be notified whenever I do upload future videos to the channel. Also click where it says enable all notifications. This would ensure that whenever I do publish one of these daily videos, you will be notified immediately so that you can watch the video. And of course, if you enjoyed this video or if you really took something of value from my recommendations, give it a thumbs up. That tells YouTube that you appreciate this type of content, helps me do better on the platform. So that would really mean a lot to me. So of course, with the gift giving season and buying fragrances for other people, sometimes we get swarmed by sales associates, and it happens to me all the time. I'm in Macy's or Bloomingdale's or Sephora or what have you, and it can certainly be overwhelming. And sometimes it can be hard to decipher what smells good to you, what doesn't smell good to you, because you have a myriad of smells in the air and they're all kind of bleeding into one another, and it just makes it a really hard place to test fragrances. So I'm here to tell you that you can't go wrong with any of these fragrances. I think these are all great, not just because of their individual price range, also because of the discounts that you can find them for online. Of course, I'm going to link them down below if I find some really good places to sample them or to purchase them at a discount. And even if you go and buy it directly from the brand that manufactures it, a lot of these brands will treat you really well. They have great customer service and they treat their clients with a lot of respect and dignity, especially one of the houses that I'm thinking of here. But I do want to start things off with a bit of an anomaly, if you will. This is a fragrance that I personally worked on, and by Navitus Parfum. It's called Raised Spirits. This fragrance was composed by Dominique Ropion and Julien Rasconet, two of the best mainstream perfumers in the world. If you're familiar with fragrances like Alien by Thierry Mugler, the same perfumer who worked on that fragrance also worked on this fragrance. Also tons of Carolina Herrera fragrances and Paco Rabanne fragrances. I mean, these two perfumers have done some masterpieces out there. And Raised Spirits is a fragrance that is very near and dear to my heart because of many of the things that it symbolizes and represents. And it has brown sugar syrup, caramel, tobacco, it has some spice in here, pimento leaves. This is just a beautiful, warm, seductive, sultry, enveloping fragrance. So definitely try it if you can. And the brand is always running promotions, so check the website. And we are running kind of low on this particular fragrance, so make sure you get your bottle before we do have to manufacture a new batch. And if for whatever reason we're not using a promotion or running a promotion, you can always use the code Steven10. So I hope you enjoyed this fragrance. It took me a long time to make it. So let's go ahead and start things off on the pricier side of things. If you're looking for a fragrance for a man in your life, be it your father or your boyfriend or your husband, and you have a little extra disposable income, I would certainly recommend getting him Percival by Parfums de Marly. This is a bright, fresh, aromatic lavender fragrance. It's very classy, very masculine. You will be giving this individual tons of compliments when he wears this fragrance. And of course, you can get this from the official website. I'm going to leave all the appropriate links down below. You can also look around. Try Max Aroma, try Fragrance X. There's a lot of great websites that will actually sell it to you at a discount, and it is 100% authentic. I would just be very mindful of purchasing fragrances on Amazon or Mercari or eBay, or worse yet, Wish or DHgate. I have been burned with a Parfums de Marly fragrance in the past. So as long as you're using something like a Max Aroma or a FragranceX.com, you can trust that you're getting a legitimate product. On the women's side of things, I would highly recommend Delina. Now, Delina by Parfum de Marly is a beautiful lychee, Turkish rose, and Madagascan vanilla fragrance. It's so sexy, it's so enticing, so alluring. And if you want kind of an overdose of that vanilla, I would get the one that I'm holding right now, which is Delina Exclusive. However, if you want something on the brighter side of things, go with the original Delina. If you want the brightest, freshest interpretation of that DNA, you're gonna go with Delina La Rosée. Beautiful fragrance, and you will love the way that your significant other smells if you're buying this for that special lady in your life. And I think they will also appreciate the fact that you're spending money on something that is, you know, very high quality and also not very cheap. Now, let's bring the price down a little bit, but not by too much. We'll start with the fellas. And you can never go wrong with Bleu de Chanel. If you want a bit of a warmer, darker DNA, go with the Parfum version or even the Eau de Parfum version. If you're looking for something very fresh, inviting, professional, it has that incensey grapefruit thing happening in here. I mean, this is one of the most versatile fragrances like ever. So Bleu de Chanel, you can't go wrong. Everybody loves it. Super clean and professional, very refined, poised, elegant, has a really upscale demeanor about it. But again, it's not going to break the bank for some as Percival would, right? Bleu de Chanel is a bit more on the affordable side of things, albeit still a bit expensive. But then we also have one that can be found online for a discount. Aside from, you know, Bleu de Chanel is kind of hard to find online. But this one is Mont Blanc Legend. Now, Mont Blanc, excuse me, not Legend, Explorer. Mont Blanc Explorer is an amazing pineapple and vanilla fragrance. It's actually the designer counterpart to Creed's Aventus, which is almost $500 for a 3.4 ounce bottle. So this gives you a very, very, very similar experience for way less than half that amount. So Mont Blanc Explorer is a wonderful fragrance to sort of compete with Creed's Aventus. Incredibly versatile. One of the biggest compliment getters. As a matter of fact, it's hard to compare it to Bleu de Chanel and Percival because all three of these fragrances are huge compliment getters. And of course, with me making these gift recommendations, I did want you to get your hands on something that the person will immediately love, not something daring or challenging or that pushes any envelopes or anything like that. Now, of course, if you're looking for something for the ladies out there, I would recommend these two. Yves Saint Laurent's Libre Le Parfum or Prada's Paradox. Prada's Paradox is a little bit more on the casual, friendly, bright, jasmine-y pear side of things. Libre is a little bit more on the dark, floral, ambery side of things. So Paradox is definitely a great, easy to wear, casual, youthful, yet chic, elegant, and professional fragrance. Libre is definitely a little bit more assertive, a little bit more demanding, still has that professional ambiance about it, which I personally love, but it definitely requires a very charismatic, bold, and confident woman to pull it off. Or if you feel like you're not that woman, but you aspire to be that woman, Libre Le Parfum is an amazing, amazing fragrance for that. So two fantastic fragrances, and both in the vein of like $60 to $100, I think. I purchased both of these from Macy's, and Macy's is running promotions right around this time of the year, so you want to check it out. I'm not affiliated with Macy's in any way. I've given them thousands and thousands of dollars over the past many years. The next fragrances are on the inexpensive side of things, and I want to start things off with one that's in the vein of like 40 bucks, but you can sometimes bundle it with other items and that brings the cost down. Bath & Body Works Coffee and Whiskey. Guys, you know there has been a lot of hype around this fragrance. It's a designer fragrance at niche quality, and for 40 bucks, you can't go wrong. I've actually recommended it to a bunch of people, and I know of 3 people, one of my students, one of my friends, and one of my coworkers that actually went out and bought this fragrance because they tried it at the Bath & Body Works in the local mall, and they love it. It's this great coffee, warm, sweet, sort of a sweet coffee kind of a fragrance, like something you would get from Starbucks, even though I drink all of my coffee black, but it's what I definitely imagine some of the sweeter confections at like a Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts smelling like. In terms of an inexpensive fragrance for women, something a bit more on the youthful side of things, something very versatile. Pardon me, I have only the box here. My wife actually took the bottle upstairs and it's almost empty. That's how much she wears it. Authentic for Women by Abercrombie & Fitch. I bought this very stupidly at full retail when I was in Europe. And then I came home and I saw online that it was like dirt cheap. And I'm like, I should have just bought it online. But I was basically, conned into believing that it was a brand new fragrance and whatever. Anyway, different story for a different day. But Authentic is a great fragrance. It actually reminds me a lot of I Love New York for Mothers by Bond No. 9. It's a very fresh, light, clean, floral, easy to wear fragrance that is on the really well-groomed, youthful, and flirty side of things. Also conveys a nice bit of innocence. It could be compared a little bit to Paradox by Prada. Prada Paradox is a little bit on the fruity, musky side of things. Authentic is on the clean, floral side of things. So try it for yourself. Look up the note breakdown and see if it's something that would cater to your personal taste. And because I wanted to make this list a nice even number so that I could put 10 in the title of the video, but also because I really love this fragrance so much, and I realized that I haven't spoken about it enough. And one of those reasons was consciously made because this is great for the colder weather. You're thinking of vanilla, tonka bean, caramel, coconut, some woods and darker ingredients in here as well. I called this the best celebrity fragrance on the market, and I will stand by that. I've tried Adam Levine's fragrances. I've tried Justin Bieber's fragrances, Ariana Grande's fragrances. A lot of them seem to be reductive. That's not the case for this fragrance. Totally unique. Really, really impressed with the overall smell and the outcome. And this one is S-Boy by Draco. You've seen the reviews online. Tons of people have reviewed this fragrance, and everybody has a lot of really wonderful things to say about it. S-Boy by Draco is an amazing fragrance, and I would certainly recommend that you go out there and try it for yourself. That sort of coconut vanilla combination is to die for. And right now is the best time of the year to wear it. And they are running a promotion, if I'm remembering correctly, starting December 15th. So you can get this one for the best price to date. So if you've been watching the reviews, you've been kind of curious about it, you want to get your nose on it, check it out. Thank you so much for watching this video. 10 recommendations, some on the expensive side of things, some on the inexpensive side of things, some for men, some for women. You have a little bit of everything here, but all of these smells are highly likable, highly complimented. Try them for yourself if you haven't. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Hit the bell, give it a thumbs up. Love you guys, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.